Tanjiro Kamado is a wonderful person. Or at least, that's what they want you to think. In reality, not only is he the very opposite of wonderful, but is in fact the most rude, ill-mannered, disrespectful, and impolite human beings I've ever seen on the face of this planet. Here is why. First reason. He's a terrible brother. Elder siblings have a responsibility to take care of their younger siblings and teach them proper values, but Tanjiro clearly missed this step and would much rather spend time consistently smacking his skull against the floor in order to make it stronger, which would explain a lot. But getting back to the point, Tanjiro lets his sister turn into a slob. Earlier on, he lets Nezuko sleep in for not just 1, but 2 whole years, which is extremely unsanitary, as well as causing major problems for everyone else. And for some reason, he acts all sad and depressed about it. Like, is he an idiot? Just wake her up! But no, instead he decides to leave and do more important things like stabbing rocks, which is equally as stupid because he could have just blown it up and it would have worked just fine. But since Tanjiro seems to lack common sense too, he just had to spend 2 years doing things the difficult way, all while letting his sister develop into the human equivalent of a rotting pumpkin. A truly irresponsible brother indeed. Second reason, he's extremely insensitive towards other people's feelings. In episode 7, when Tanjiro meets One Punch Man and gets him to make him some udon soup, he suddenly smells the hot stench of the bad guy, Michael Jackson, causing him to stand up and break the noodles, which is fair enough. He got surprised and it was an honest mistake. But then, when he gets back to them later, he then does something unforgivable. The man is reasonably upset at the fact that Tanjiro had wasted his noodles, and so to make up for this, Tanjiro orders 2 bowls, presumably for him and Nezuko. Now could you imagine being One Punch Man in this scenario, working hard, selling noodles for a living, and then one day you're approached by these travelers and are given the honor to make noodles for the esteemed beauty of their hometown, only for this random kid to eat all of it, leaving you eternally disappointed that Nezuko will never try your noodles. He clearly tries to hide it, but the sorrow on his face is undeniable, meaning Tanjiro is truly inconsiderate of other people's feelings. And finally, the third reason is his abusive treatment of the demons. Now obviously he has to kill them. The show is called Demon Slayer. It'd be stupid for me to criticize that. However, the way he went about it was far too cruel, even for them. First thing, when he meets the demons, he obviously intends to kill them, which is great. But then, throughout the fight, Tanjiro will insist on bringing back their past memories, effectively traumatizing them all over again, just to gain an upper hand. And in the end, they finally remember the part of them that made them human, believing that maybe, just maybe, they could finally turn things around for the better. And just as they're finally about to do that, Tanjiro gets all of this and kills them! He could have just gone ahead and done his job, simply finishing off the demons nice and quick. But that wasn't enough for him. He just had to remind them of everything they could have been, dangling this knowledge right in front of their faces as they slowly die. Will no one consider the demons' feelings? They may have done some bad things, but at the very least you could treat them with respect. Anyways, the second thing that's stupid about this is that Tanjiro treats them with respect, even going as far as to feel sympathy for them. Are you stupid, Tanjiro? Demons are evil. Didn't you know that? And as we all know, the world operates completely in black and white, so they can't possibly have any nuance. You want to know who Tanjiro should really be learning from? Reddit. Now that is a place that gives actual good advice, especially with the countless people on there who know everything. All he needs to do is spend a few minutes on Reddit and his innocence will immediately be crushed, thus giving him some of the much needed nihilism and self-loathing that he truly lacks. But for whatever silly reason, this world doesn't seem to have internet, meaning Tanjiro is truly beyond saving. Now, there is somebody who'd never do any of these things. Somebody who always makes reasonable decisions and is far less annoying than the foolish Tanjiro. That person, of course, being the Chad Zenitsu. Now, Zenitsu is truly what made Demon Slayer for me. His screaming like a chicken with its head cut off is by far the best part of the show. In fact, I'd argue that the show is over 2% worse without it. When Zenitsu was first introduced, I immediately knew he was something special, and I was proven right when we saw him using the sacred techniques of the Sigma male grind set. But of course, Tanjiro had to come in and ruin everything once again. And afterwards, when Tanjiro offers him some food, which was obviously a psychological tactic to get him to feel like he owes him something, the Chad Zenitsu sees through all this and gives half of it back. a truly genius move on his part. You can just tell by everything Zenitsu does that he makes far better decisions than Tanjiro ever would. The only parts I don't like about him are when he falls asleep and uses his weird lightning powers. I don't like those parts because it reminds me of Tanjiro. But even despite this, Zenitsu still manages to steal the show. He is the only thing that kept me from stopping, and my only complaint is that he isn't loud enough. But finally, this all leads to the one scene that proves my point of just how much of a terrible person Tanjiro truly is. When they all arrive at Spooky Forest Mountain, Zenitsu is rather hesitant at first, and reasonably so because the forest is spooky. And as if to prove his point, this random background character flies away and dies right in front of them. For some reason, Tanjiro, and the other guy whose name I can't remember, are completely unfazed by this and decide to go in anyways, while Zenitsu is reasonably scared. Now what a good friend would do in this situation is comfort Zenitsu, to be understanding, to spare just a little bit of their time to help build up their friend's confidence so they could all go in together. But what did they do instead? What did they do instead? They leave him! Yeah, so much for being a great friend, Tanjiro. Because of you, Zenitsu is all by himself and is forced to go into the forest alone, is turned into an ugly demon spider and proceeds to die. That's right, the Chad Zenitsu's dead and it's all Tanjiro's fault. Unless you didn't realize, friends don't abandon each other at their time of need. He didn't do this to teach him a lesson. He didn't do this to help him get back on his own feet. He did it out of cold blood, and I bet it was all because of that damn rice bowl scene. Tanjiro never forgave him, and Zenitsu paid for it with his life. Absolutely despicable. It was at this point that I had decided to drop Demon Slayer, because without Zenitsu, there was no point. I couldn't possibly miss anything worthwhile because all that's left is Tanjiro. Never before have I been so disappointed by something I was never interested in, but that's exactly what Demon Slayer did. I could never recommend this show, even if my life depended on it. Demon Slayer isn't just mid, it's an abomination, and it's all thanks to a singular character named Tanjiro. My name is Brandon Riley, here with Mini Katana, and that is why Tanjiro is a terrible person. Good day.
Hello, this is Brandon, and if you want to see more videos like these, for some reason, then check out my channel at Brandon Talks. Subscribe to me there as well as Mini Katana, links in the description, and I'll see you guys there. Goodbye.